Hello and welcome to Right Sports Talk. My name is Zach, and with it officially being Super Bowl week, we are 6 days away from Super Bowl 58. I figured now would be a really good time to give my Super Bowl prediction. So, what I'm going to do is going to kind of run through some key players, the key players that I think will each team has for this game, and kind of how I think each team could win, and their kind of keys to what they could do to win the football game. I'm going to start off by running through defensive players. I'm going to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs defense. First names I have, I've got Nick Bolton, and then if healthy, Willie Gay. Their key to this game is going to be minimizing Christian McCaffrey's role. It's pretty much impossible to completely stop Christian McCaffrey. He's going to get touches. The 49ers are going to find ways to get the ball in his hands. But what Nick Bolton and Willie Gay can do is at least slow him down, minimize the yards that he can gain. If they give it to, when they hand it off to him, if they try to throw it out to him, whenever he gets the ball in his hands, just keep him from getting big plays. If they can shut him down right at the point he gets the ball, force him to kind of change direction, slow down. Just make sure he doesn't try to bust the game wide open. Keep him from getting big gains. If they can slow down Christian McCaffrey and minimize Christian McCaffrey's role on that offense, they will do, it will go a long way towards shutting down that offense and kind of taking away what that offense wants to do. Another way they could, impact the game is, they could probably go out and, if they could slow down George Kittle a little bit, that would, slow down and, kind of minimize what that offense is able to do. The next person that I got is L'Jarius Sneed, and his biggest impact and biggest key he can do, slow down Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is another guy that the 49ers have a lot of plans for him in their game plan. They have a lot of plays drawn up that involve him getting the football, touching the football, just finding ways to get him the ball. If L'Jarius Sneed can kind of stay with him all game and slow him down, the 49ers, I wouldn't say their offense stops if Deebo and Christian McCaffrey are slowed down, but they have it limits their ability for what Kyle Shanahan likes to do in his game plan. So L'Jarius Sneed, if he can slow down Deebo Samuel, that takes out a pretty big part of that 49ers offense. And finally, I've got mainly George Karlaftis and Chris Jones. If they can disrupt and pressure Brock Purdy, it'll go a long way towards actually helping what, I think would help Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, and L'Jarius Sneed. So if you can disrupt, pressure Chris Jones, if you can get pressure up the middle, not allow Purdy to kind of step up in the pocket to step away from, incoming defenders, step away from pressure, and just disrupt his timing of what he's trying to do. See if you can make him make mistakes, because he is still a young quarterback. This is only his second year. He could make some mistakes if you disrupt him. And George Karlaftis kind of in the other way, just coming off of, the edge instead of up the middle as the defensive lineman. Again, just disrupting Brock Purdy. If you can disrupt Brock Purdy, throw his timing off. He's a young guy that might get in his head a little bit and cause him to panic, make quick throws, not make the best decisions. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to the 49ers defense and kind of what they need to do to slow down the Chiefs offense. The first two players I have for the 49ers defense is linebackers Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Now their role that I think they could do is slowing down Travis Kelce and slowing down Isaiah Pacheco. Travis Kelce has been going off this postseason. He has had a terrific past 3 games. Been just putting up really great numbers. So I think Fred Warner or Dre Greenlaw, whichever one they have in coverage against him, or whichever one can just kind of disrupt him at the line of scrimmage, slow him down, you know, go into coverage with him, could kind of keep him from being the one that turns the game for the Chiefs, because he has been the guy, especially against the Ravens. He was the guy that turned the game in the Chiefs' favor. Against the Bills, he turned the game in the Chiefs' favor with big time catches and getting touchdowns. So I think Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, one of those guys or both of those guys, could disrupt the line of scrimmage, kind of go in coverage with him, slow him down a little bit. Again, the two of them slowing down Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is probably going to get the ball a lot in this game. He's been getting the ball a lot this postseason. He runs angry. He runs mad. He runs with the intent of, I'm going to gain yards every single play, no matter what it takes. I'm going to try and run through guys. I'm just going to smash my foot into the ground, and I'm going to gain yards, and I'm going to run through somebody. So Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw kind of, get him at the point of attack. Don't let him build up too much of a head of steam. And just, find ways to slow him down. Try to hit him before he can get past the line of scrimmage. Try to hit him before he can gain, 3 or 4 yards and build up that speed to where he's going to run through somebody. I think if they can slow down Kelsey and slow down Pacheco, that very much limits what the Chiefs can do on offense. Next player I've got is 49ers cornerback Travarius Ward. And the thing I have for him is to slow down Rashee Rice. Just cover Rashee Rice, blanket Rashee Rice, keep Rashee Rice from getting big games. So Rashee Rice had a pretty good game against the Dolphins in the cold. The past 2 postseason games, he has, I wouldn't say been a non-factor, but he has kind of underperformed on what was thought he could do now that he's kind of taken over that number 1 receiver role for the Chiefs. But I think we've seen these past couple of games that Rashee Rice may be the number 1 receiver, but the number 1 receiving target is still going to be Travis Kelce. But if Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw take Travis Kelce out of the game, or slow down what Travis Kelce is able to do, Rashee Rice needs to step up. So I think if Travarius Ward can blanket Rashee Rice, he's not going to be able to step up and make the plays that the Chiefs need him to, especially in key situations in this game. So if he can hold Rashee Rice to just a few catches, no touchdowns, no big plays, then that will really hamper the Chiefs offense and really affect what they could do in this game. And finally, I just have the entirety of the 49ers defensive line, and that's slow down or contain Patrick Mahomes as much as they can, just as best as they can contain Patrick Mahomes. So that means you're going to have Nick Bosa, who, he's, probably the best player on that defense. He's going to have a good monster game coming off the edge. But you're also going to have Chase Young, who is kind of, underperformed or kind of not really met the expectations that they had for him when they traded for him. He's going to have to come off that other edge, and they're just going to have to contain Patrick Mahomes on each side, and then you're going to have Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave push up the middle. Now, if Joe Thuney is still out for this game, that very much helps those interior defensive linemen. It'll allow them to get more push on those guards. If Joe Thuney is in this game and he's healthy, it's going to be really difficult because he is a really good guard. And beside Creed Humphrey, who is one of the best centers in the league, it's going to be difficult to get interior pressure, but they're going to have to work on that. They got to get pressure. They got to pressure Patrick Mahomes. They have to try and contain him, not let him scramble around and just kind of sneak out and gain a few sneaky yards with a scramble every now and then. As weird as it sounds, they have to make Patrick Mahomes beat him with just his arm. They have to make Patrick Mahomes stand in the pocket, find somebody to throw the ball to, and beat them with just his arm. Which is crazy. Saying that 2 years ago would have been absolutely crazy considering the receivers that they had. But with the receiving core they have right now, their best bet is to make Patrick Mahomes throw the ball and not let him escape and gain a few yards, or do Patrick Mahomes things of just side arming it, or just making crazy plays. Just contain him, make him be a conventional quarterback, make him beat them with his arm. Moving on to offensive players. First offensive player I have is a pretty obvious one. It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs is the number one player I have for them, for who could win them the game. He's the obvious pick. He's the quarterback. He is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Something was different about him when they get to the playoffs. I thought he was a guy that I thought he wasn't going to make it out of Buffalo. I thought they weren't going to make it past the Bills, and he proved me wrong. I thought they weren't going to make it past Baltimore, and he proved me wrong. So what they need from Patrick Mahomes just needs to be Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes needs to move around, needs to find ways to just make plays happen when there's not plays there. When you think, oh, there's nothing that could happen here, and Patrick Mahomes just throws it to somebody you didn't even think about. Which kind of leads me into my next few. My next three is MVS, Justin Watson, and Noah Gray. Those are the three guys that I think kind of need to step up and make plays. Because I think in the receiving game, Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice are going to be the main focus of this 49ers defense. So I think one of, if not, at least one of these three players, whether it's MVS, Justin Watson, or Noah Gray, needs to step up. They need to make just a few plays in some key situations to help this team. Whether that's, Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice are shut down on a 3rd and long, and MVS comes open down the field and he makes a catch for a first down, or Justin Watson does the same thing, or Noah Gray down near the goal line, they throw a pass, Travis Kelce's covered up, Noah Gray can slip out from that tight end position, catch a touchdown. It's just one of those three players, at least one of those three players needs to step up and needs to make some plays in key situations. A team overall for the Chiefs, they need to start fast. They need to not let the 49ers keep the game close. So I think you've kind of seen, the 49ers' 2 playoff games, the Packers and the Lions both jumped out to big leads on them, but unfortunately they ultimately wound up giving those leads up and the 49ers won. Well, I don't think the Chiefs do that. If the Chiefs can go up by 2 scores, they're going to win. Like, the 49ers aren't going to be able to come back from that deficit. So if the Chiefs can start fast and get up by a couple scores, I think they win this game. Now, moving on to my key offensive players for the 49ers. First and foremost, it is Brock Purdy, the quarterback. He needs to try and make plays as best as he can. We saw him against the Lions, running around, making plays with his legs, but he needs to try and find ways to make plays with his arms and not make, silly mistakes, not, turn the ball over. He needs to just, have good ball control and don't try to force something if it's not there. Now, he is a young quarterback, and if he is being pressured, that might be something he's tempted to do, is try to force the ball out before he gets hit. I think he just needs to, play composed, play calm, play confident, and at some points he may need to be a game changer. He may need to be a Patrick Mahomes style quarterback of making plays when it doesn't look like there are any, which I think he is capable of doing. He's shown, in past performances, that he can go out and help win his team the game. He doesn't just go out there and be a game manager. There are times he looks like he can be a game changer. And that's what he needs to do in the Super Bowl to help the 49ers win. Next, I've got Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. They need to step up and take over the offense, take over for the offense. If Brandon Ayuk, if Debo Samuel is shut down by L'Jarius Sneed, Brandon Ayuk needs to step up. Brandon Ayuk needs to make those big plays if Debo is covered up. Which, I mean, he did really against the Lions. He had, came out and had a really good game against the Lions. If he can replicate that and keep doing that against the Chiefs, that offense will keep moving. And also George Kittle. George Kittle has been a very hit or miss player. But I think if George Kittle could come out and take over the game from the start, then that's really going to help propel this 49ers offense. And they're going to be able to score quickly, keep the game close, not let the Chiefs get out to a big lead. And kind of a sleeper player that I have for the 49ers is Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk is a guy, he's the fullback, but they can move him around and use him in so many different ways. They don't use him as a traditional, just going to line up in front of the running back and block a linebacker type fullback. They move him around, they bring him out of the backfield as a receiver, they line him up at tight end and let him run a route. So I think he could be a difference maker in key situations, especially short yardage situations, third down situations, fourth down situations, if it comes to it. Red zone, in the red zone near the goal line, because there's so many guys to focus on. You have to focus on Christian McCaffrey. You got to focus on Debo Samuel. You got to focus on George Kittle. You're gonna have to focus on Brandon Ayuk if he starts having a good game. That Kyle Juszczyk could just kind of, slip out and catch a pass for a first down, or they could fake it to Christian McCaffrey, hand it to Kyle Juszczyk, and he runs in for a touchdown. Like, he is somebody that could get kind of overlooked by this defense because they're so focused on all the other pieces. And Kyle Juszczyk could just, have a sneaky good game and, could only get the ball a handful of times, but those handful of times could be in key situations and could possibly get a touchdown that, swings the game in the 49ers' favor. So I think, that could help them as well. My key for the 49ers, I kind of touched on a little bit, is they need to start fast. They can't start slow. I think they could possibly, if they win the coin toss, they should probably take the ball and they should receive the kickoff and they should try to drive down the field and get that first score of the game. Because if they start slow like they have the past two games, they're not going to be able to make up that deficit against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just too good. The Chiefs' defense is just too good to allow that kind of comeback. So now that I've talked about my keys, my key players and what each team could do to win the game, I think the 49ers win this football game. And I think some of the players that I talked about are the reason why. I think that they win this game because their defense is going to help shut down the Chiefs' offensive weapons. I think Brock Purdy can come in and have a good game. I think either George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk is going to have a good game. And I think, honestly, Kyle Juszczyk is going to be the difference maker in this football game. And that is what is going to allow the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. So, let me know what you think. In the comments, why you think the Chiefs are going to win the game, or why you think my takes are good. See you next time.